Hello, welcome to Lemon Studios, where we talk anything and everything entertainment. I'm, of course, Lemon himself, Zeke Lemon, and this is my review for The Accountant 2, or Accountant Squared, depending on how you read the title. But before we get into that, let's get the house clean out of the way. Sure, I'm to leave a like, comment below, let me know your thoughts on The Accountant 2, and of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, all that out of the way, let's get into the review, shall we? So, The Accountant 2, a sequel, 8 years in the making. Starring Ben Affleck and Jon Bernthal, and I am a fan of the first Accountant. Now, I will be completely honest, I don't really remember it that well. I wanted to do a rewatch of the first one before going into this one, just so I could compare them better, but I just didn't have the time for it. So I went into this like just hoping, that I didn't really need the first one. But yeah, I enjoy the first Accountant quite a bit. I didn't love it as many others do, though. I think I was in a minority. I was like, yeah, it's a good movie. But wasn't like, oh man, this is astounding, this is like next level and all that, where I do remember when the first one came out, everyone was like, yeah, no, this is one of the best action movies ever made. I never got that far, but I was still curious to see the sequel, because again, it's been so long, we've been wanting to do it for so long, and then when the trailer came out, and it was like, still somewhat The Accountant, but yet still like it had a more of a comedic tone, and then we had the second trailer come out, and it was a completely different tonal shift, and I was like, okay, well, this seems a little new. Let's go in here and be, and have a good time, right? And I will say, Ben Affleck and Jon Bernthal really do make this movie. And I mean that in the best way possible. Their chemistry is just off the charts, especially Ben Affleck. He is much more comfortable within this character. He's having a lot more fun with it. He just seems much more natural. I laughed a good chunk with Ben Affleck's character, but when Jon Bernthal comes into play too, and they are doing that brotherly rivalry, being annoying to each other, but still loving each other, and the conversations that they are having, you can just tell they were having an absolute ball while making this movie. And when you can see two actors having so much fun while making a movie, it's infectious, and it comes out of the screen and slaps you across the face, and you are having a great time within that movie as well. And, the main problem within this movie, though, is the tempo of the film. I do remember the first one having a slower pace of a movie for sure, but it was pretty consistent. And you can be a really fast-paced movie and feel like 3 hours. You can also be a really slow-paced movie and feel like an hour and a half if you can stay consistent within that tempo. And this one was a movie that just had a clash of tempos. It would go really fast in some areas, and then it would slow down, and then it would pick up again, and then it would slow down. And it just felt like any time that we were getting somewhere, and then we shift over, because we jump a lot throughout this whole entire film, whether it be locations, different characters. One of the locations is Fort Worth, Texas, and they made sure to say Fort Worth, Texas on it. They didn't just call it Dallas. I really did appreciate that. That's my neck of the woods. So I was really happy to see the, FW get some representation. We don't call it that here. I don't know why I said that, but it was cool. I was like, oh wow, we're in the movie and we're not called Dallas. So yeah, that got some big old brownie points for me too. But when we keep jumping over from place to place consistently throughout the whole entire movie, especially after we have such a fun scene, you could just feel to go, okay. And then, you just get really comfortable, you get really and you relax within the movie. And yeah, it's a little jarring at times within the film. The action is really good in the movie. It's not, it's not staticky, like it's not, a lot of cuts. Like I didn't have a headache while watching it, which sometimes that can happen within these. It really felt like really lived in. Some action scenes don't happen, but it's really good for character effect. But yeah, at the end of the day, when I think about this movie, the main thing that is going to stand out to me is the fun that Jon Bernthal and Ben Affleck are having. It is really, really infectious to the point where it was enough for me to go, yeah, that was a good time at the movies. Now, with that being said, do I recommend you go out to the theater and see it? Probably not. I mean, look, it's one of those movies, if you want to go to the theater to go see it, go to the theater and go see it. You're going to have a good time. If you want to wait for it to come out on Prime Video, then yeah, you wait for it to come out on Prime Video. But do I think maybe this would have had a better shot if it would have just stuck to a Prime Video release? I think so. Again, box office, we'll see. I mean, I know Sinners is going to have a great second weekend, and rightfully deserves so. So it's really a fight for that number 2 spot between this movie and Until Dawn. And, we'll see how those projections go, and we'll see how those budgets are and see if they do well enough. But I do think this probably could have had a much better shot if it did just stick to Prime Video as opposed to in the theaters. I think a lot more people would be seeing it. But I did have a good time with it. Again, the only thing that was really struggling within it was the constant tempo issues. And also, you know, when they're in it, it's a lot of fun, but when we cut away from them, it's just not as entertaining, and we do spend some time away from them, whether it be with the villains. Granted, it's very quick. The people who are helping Ben Affleck, who are very interesting, and there's a very, very interesting dichotomy within that it could possibly be a spinoff. In all honesty, if we really wanted to do it, these kids are freaking phenomenal. And then we have this cop storyline as well, where, you know, again, it's really hit or miss. They are intertwined pretty well for the most part. But yeah, it just needed a little more TLC within those things. I wouldn't have necessarily cut anything. When there's tempo issues, you got to think, okay, well, what's not working? Okay, we should have cut that and give more to this. Because a lot of people are like, oh yeah, just cut stuff. And you're fine. No, if you're going to cut something, then you need to add something in. And if you're going to add something, then what are you going to deflect on? It's not just a matter of adding and cutting things. I wouldn't have necessarily cut anything. I just think it probably just needed some more fleshing out to do on some of these storylines that we are going separate with. Because again, we do separate. There's like 4 different storylines with 4 different people that we're supposed to follow. But, you know, if we were going to do that, then maybe we should just lock in on the 2 and really surround it on the 2 brothers that we are following. But yeah, again, everything was interesting. Don't get me wrong. I was very, very engaged throughout the film. I just didn't love this one. And I remember really liking the first one. And I just came out of this one just liking it, just having a good time with it. If I had to rank it on lemon scale, where it goes sour lemon at the bottom, expired store-bought lemonade after that, then store-bought lemonade in the middle. Hey, it's a movie. Freshly squeezed lemonade is very good. Minor problems, and strawberry lemonade at the very top, because that is the best kind of lemonade. To me, Accountant 2 is store-bought lemonade. It's very good store-bought lemonade. Hell, it's flirting with lemonade. Again, it's a movie where if you want to go to the theater, go to the theater. If you don't want to go to the theater, don't go to the theater. Wait for it to come out on Prime Video. But again, Ben Affleck and Jon Bernthal are worth the price of admission. Just everything else around them just need a little bit more work to do. Engaging enough to pay attention to the film, but not necessarily enough for me to be like, yeah, no, this was all around a very good flick. Still good, just not really good. I know I'm like really harping on that, but you know, we live in this time where, you know, it's either amazing or it's horrible. Things can be very average, and this was just another average movie. But yeah, let me know down in the comment section what you thought of The Accountant 2 or Accountant Squared. Leave a like if you made it this far within a review. I do greatly appreciate it. And hit that subscribe button for me, as I am trying to grow into my YouTube career. And until next time, guys, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.